Good morning and welcome back to We Don't Camp. Let me begin by first apologizing for not having posted in a while. I've been away from home for over a month now, and that's where my camping gear is, so as soon as I can get back, we're actually going to do some real camping. But I decided to just look in my vehicle and see what did I have, and there are some items that I almost always keep in my vehicle, so we're going to do something with that today. Today I'm going to show you how to set up a Ridgeline and attach a tarp to it. So the items that I keep in my car include a camp chair, a tarp, which you've seen me use before if you saw the video on the SUV and tarp. I keep some poles, and lastly, my little goodie box that contains things like stakes and rope. And so with all of that, we're gonna put up a little mini video today. So let's begin here with my little goodie box. When I open it up here, you'll notice that inside I have a few items, some rope, different lengths, different sizes, some guidelines, and then also my pegs here for putting in the ground, my stakes once I get going. I usually keep a little knife in here in case I need to cut some of this rope. And then a little trick that I've learned over the years is to take little pieces of stick, smooth them out a little bit, and I will show you how I'm going to use these later. So that's all in the goodie box. It doesn't require a lot of stuff. And we're going to start using this now to put up the Ridgeline. So I decided to go with a short Ridgeline because I noticed that the area I have behind me, normally you need about, 12 feet or so. And this is a shorter distance. So what I'm going to do here, I have a long Ridgeline and then one that's a little bit shorter. And so what you want to be able to do here is normally have about, 12 feet or so in between. But because I have a shorter distance today, I'm going to use my shorter Ridgeline, and that should do the trick. So let's begin by setting up the Ridgeline. Once I've selected my Ridgeline, I usually take my little sticks that I've already pre-made and put them in my pocket so I have quick access to what I need to use. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And began to unravel my Ridgeline. I usually try to have it so that I can get to the pieces that I need first. And that will be this. If you'll notice here, it's already made into a little knot so that I can take it and slide it, make it bigger or smaller depending on what my needs are. And that's what I'm going to use to set up the first part of the Ridgeline. So what I did here was place my Ridgeline a little bit above my head level. You'll notice that the loop I was showing you is right here. And I'm going to take this right side of the string, run it through the loop, and then I'll tighten it down with my little peg. This side secure, I'm simply going to come to the other side and not do quite the same thing, but make somewhat of what's known as a trucker's hitch. I don't think it's a real trucker's hitch, but it's Rose hitch. So that's what we're going to do on this opposite side. So I'm going to take it on around. For the most part, I'm trying to keep it at the same height. But when I get to this side, I'm going to loosen it up a little bit. Make me a loop in the rope. Take that, twist it one time, grab the end that is closest to the new tree and pull it. So now I form another loop. And I'm pulling it towards the tree. It makes a difference when I pull that rope. Then I'm going to take my loose end, put it through that hole I just made, and then tighten it down, pulling backwards so that I can get it tight. And you can see now, it's nice and tight. Probably needs to be raised just a little bit, but it's tight. And now that I've got it tight, I'm gonna take my 3 pieces here, pinch them together, take this over the top, loop it back through, and pull it away from the tree. And just for security, you know, it's pretty much safe, but for security, I could go ahead and run one of these so I can make sure it doesn't come loose. You're gonna almost always have something hanging over, and you can simply take that and just loop it back up so it's out the way. And there you have your ridge line. Ridge line. The next part of this is to set up the tarp onto the ridge line. So the main part of putting the tarp up for me involves using these prusik knots. They're made in such a way that they're designed to slide up and down your ridge line. And the good thing about it is that when you attach it, you can do it so that it pulls friction so that your tarp won't move. And these are very helpful when you want to make sure your tarp stays nice and tight. But you'll see as I put this together how those knots work. They're very easy to put together, and I'll probably put something on the end of the video that shows you how to make them. Okay, so now using the tarp that I already had in the car, this is a 9 by 9, really, if you count it out. And there are plenty of tabs on the tarp. And so if you were to go halfway between the tarp, once it's open, and really it's kind of folded in half right now, you will notice that right in the center, halfway between the tarp, are these tabs. And these are the tabs that I'm actually going to attach to the ridge line. And so I will begin with one end, the end tab, and put that up first. So using my prusik knot, I'm going to take the loop in, run it through my tab, and then using the sticks, I'm going to put one here and bring it back so see it won't move. But now if I want to move it from this spot, which I will have to because it's so short, I'm going to simply take it, slide it all the way down, pull back, and look, it won't move anymore. Show you again. If I take the tension off, I can slide it very easily. And the trick to this is that your rope that you use for your prusik has to be different than the one you use on your ridge line, or it won't work. It won't give you the friction that you need. So again, if I just take the pressure off, I can slide it, and when I don't want it to move, I simply pull it like this. You see, it won't go anywhere. But we want it on this other end. So let's take it as far as it'll go. That's using the end. Again, I'm still on the same middle ridge, and normally if the distance between the two trees were correct, I would just simply take my other end and attach it. But notice, it goes way past where I put my original knot. So sometimes you have to be creative, and this is one of those occasions. So what I'm going to do here to hold things up is use my other prusik knot, place it here just to hold it up for me for right now. And let's do the same thing. You're going to take your tab here. This is a raggedy end prusik knot, but it'll work. Run it through. Once I get it to the other side, put my stick in to hold it in place. Put a little tension on it. And notice how it tightens up on my ridge line. But I still have a problem here. I've got this end that's not attached to anything. So what I'm going to have to do is improvise and put something there. And so that's where my little goodie box comes in. Because I try to keep, again, different size ropes and a couple of little presents that's already established. Now this is a really big one, but under the circumstances it'll work. So we're going to use it. Now what do you do then? I know that it's going to come over here somewhere. take it, I run my ends through to create my first set of loops, and then I want to create another set, so I'm going to loosen it up a little bit and run it back through again. And I have a mess here. I did it wrong. Okay, so let's do it right. I've got here, that's why I like to do it from the same side, and then I'm going to take it back through again. Right. And now we have, instead of 2, we have 4. That's perfect. So I'm going to take my end. Same thing. Run the crescent knot through the end. Hope I have some more. I do. One more. Perfect. Put it here. Now notice how loose this is. And we want this to be tight. So we're just going to slide the knot. And look how it tightens up. And there. We have this part up. Now what do I do? Because I want to be able to get up under the tarp. So this is where the poles come in. I'm going to go ahead, get my poles out. And the thing with these versatile size poles is you can make it as high as you want or as low as you want. So I'm not going to make it very high. I think I'm going to maybe put it at 4 poles. Put it together right quickly. I have a simple push and snap. There are different types of poles you can use, so it's just about what works for you. So I have 3 here, and I'll go ahead and notice that the one I put on the top has an edge here so that the tab doesn't slip off very easily. So we're going to put that one on the top. Same thing I did on this one, I'll do here. 4 poles, 1, 2, 3, and my 4th one. I think that'll be high enough. I want to get my stakes out of my goodie box because I'm going to need that, and also I'm going to need some guide ropes. The guide ropes actually came with the tarp. I keep it in the same bag, so it's always here and easy to get to. And I'm going to need 2 for this front side. So I'm going to bring out 2. 1 and 2. You notice I've already put some carabiners on it because it's just easier for me instead of trying to tie off each time. So I'll take those, start unraveling. So that's your guideline. It helps, like the name implies, to guide how you're going to put your stuff. So you saw that came off. We don't really want that to happen. So I'll just make a little loop here and run it through my carabiner. Run it through my carabiner. Okay, so it's going to be one of those days. Let's just tie it up and be done. How about that? I just put a little double knot in it. Main thing is to make sure it doesn't come loose like it just did. And there we go. All right, so starting on this end, it doesn't matter which end you start on. The main thing is to take your tarp. I'm going to my end tab, run my pole through it. I'm going to put my carabiner up over the top. And I hear somebody out there with their little race car. That's exceptionally loud, but I hope you can still hear me. Okay, so in my little goodie box, I keep these stakes. I'm usually going to have 2 together, so we're going to go ahead and take it a loose. Usually put one on the side that I'm going to be using them on and have them ready. So, I'm going to take my pole, run it here through the last tab, Put my carabiner on it to hold it in place. Then using my stake, I'm usually going to take it and stake off to the right or left. In this case, I'm going to try to do it this way. But the whole point is to make sure you have it slightly secure. Usually at a 45-degree angle will work. But just stake it down, that's the main thing. And once you have that on there, you want to be able to tighten it up by simply sliding this up the pole till you get it tight. Put your stake in at a 45-degree angle. It's less likely to come loose on you. And it looks like I didn't put enough space. Well, yeah, barely. But there it is. So I have one side up. Now I'm just going to go and do the same thing on the other side. Got my pole, my stake. Put this here. Need my guideline. Hopefully this one will be a little easier to take apart. So I'll slip it through here. Somebody want to do some racing this morning, so that's the noise, unfortunately, that you're hearing. Anyway, we have this. I want to space it out here a little bit. Put my carabiner on top. Pull to the side in this case. Might be off screen, but you'll get the gist. And the same thing, just stake it down. And pull your tab up here. Slide it up just to tighten it up. Alright, the whole stake came out. The ground is kind of soft this morning. We had some rain, but just redo it. This is part of camping. You're going to have some things happen. Again, put your stakes in at a 45-degree angle if possible. Should be possible. And then just tighten up. So you feel a lot of tension there. Now, you put it up, you may have to make a few adjustments. Get it how you want it. I have a little wind out here today as well. So there we have one end. I'm going to make an adjustment or two over here as well, because it really should be coming off to the side. And so let's do it the right way and put it off to the side here. Okay. I shouldn't even say the right way, just the way that works. Then I usually get all this little junk out my way, because now I have the back side that I really want to be able to do some things with. So, keeping everything together, moving it over here to the side. I want to be able now to do something here with this back panel, because I don't want it flapping in the wind. So typically what I'll do is just use a couple of stakes and a few guidelines and just pull it out to give me a little more room. Going back to the goodie box, pull out 2 more stakes. Might need 3, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out 4. And then some more guidelines that came with the tarp. Same thing, have the carabiner set up on it already. Kind of makes my life a little easier. Unravel, unravel. There is 1. I know I'm going to need at least 2. And in this case, I don't have to put any poles on because I'm going to keep this to the ground. So we'll just do this here. What was I doing this day? I have no idea. Okay, but anyway, got it. Today I put this away. Unravel, unravel, blah, 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 and there we go. Take my stakes. I usually start on the ends. It just seems to make life easier. So I'll take it. Put my one out here somewhere. I know I lost you for a minute. This will only be temporary, so hold on. this time, I'm going to put my carabiner through the loop instead of on a pole, because we're not doing a pole. Although I could very easily do a pole and put it up like this. But we're just going to do this with it today. Now, you can see a little better. I'm going to put this in the ground. My end there. Tighten it up a little bit, and so I can raise it like this or bring my stake in closer and put it down to the ground so that it's lower. It just depends on what you're wanting. So in this case, we're going to put a little space here. Again, put your carabiner into your loop and then come out with it. If you want it high like this, bring it out further. If you want to keep it low, then you will simply stake it down here. So we're going to pick it up for today. And don't do this. Don't get caught up and trip. Alright, put it in the ground. Some wood pile that needs to burn over here. This house. Okay. And tighten up. Now, if I just really wanted that up some more, I'd put another pole here. But for today, we're just going to do this with it. Oh, here's one. Okay. Two left over. Have me a little shelter there. I'm going to take my little camp chair, put it together right quick. This is a little inexpensive one, got from Walmart. You can get them from almost anywhere that does camping, sporting goods, that type thing, order it online. Throw that together right quickly. These have little pouches, and you just simply fit that on. So I do this, slide it on, and on. Come on, get in there. There. And then the backs. Ooh, something is out here biting. Okay. And the other side. Up. Wrong hole. This one. And now on my chair, push this back under. And I have shade. So now that everything is up, I made a couple of little small adjustments. It's not the prettiest from the front because of a couple of things. First of all, it's not even stretched out all the way because the distance between the trees was short. But as we go around it, you can see the work that was done and then how it looks here on the back side. Now, if the sun is not blocking too much, you can see how we have the back side. And the good thing about a setup like this is that whichever way I want the poles to go, I can do that and just make some small adjustments. Let's say I want the sun to my back, you know, then I would put the flap down, make it lower to the ground or something like that. So there are many things you can do with the tarp, and this is just one. So let's go ahead and leave it up for today. I am expecting some rain a little later. Maybe we'll come back out then so you can see what it's like to be under it during the rain.